The legendary Tupac Shakur had relationships with an incredible number of women during his life. However, this story is about the women who held a special place in his heart. Welcome to the Top Art Legends. Let's get started. Rapper Yolanda Yo-Yo Whittaker. They first met in a recording studio in 1989. After crossing paths in different cities, Whittaker and Shakur became friends, and eventually their relationship turned romantic.
We were great friends on the road. We met each other early, 89, when Pac first came out here. And we dated, and Pac, we became great friends, which later ended up in a relationship, which turned into a friendship.
Over time, their bond evolved to resemble that of siblings. Pac became like a brother to me. Nothing really happened, she said in regards to their breakup. We were just two people on the road who found each other, fell in love with each other. We spent many nights on the road together. He wasn't perfect, nor was he trying to be. He wasn't afraid to talk about his community, about his parents, stuff that people don't want to hear about, stuff people don't want to talk about. People don't want to talk about their truth. That kind of love he had for truth made me love him more.
How long did y'all date?
Oh, goodness. All his life.
Really?
I'm still his.
Still to this day?
To this day.
Actress Jada Pinkett Smith.
All right, I'm almost ready.
What the is that?
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You gotta be kidding me.
Pinkett Smith and Shakur first met in the 1980s while they were sophomores at the Baltimore School for the Arts in Maryland. They instantly connected and quickly became close friends.
We met at Baltimore School for the Arts. It was the first day, and he came over to me and introduced himself. And in high school, Pac was a little funny looking. Definitely, from looking at him, wasn't necessarily like the type of cat that I would even deal with, But as soon as he approached me, he was like a magnet. It was like once you paid attention to him, he kind of sucked you in. And we hit it off from that moment on. He would tell me all the time, Jada, you're gonna be a star. You know what I mean? I'm really like, Pac, come on. He's like, you're gonna be a star. You got it. You just got it.
In a 2014 interview with Arsenio Hall, Jada also mentioned, Pac was probably one of the first male figures that I had in my life that saw the beauty and the talent and my intelligence separated from sex, she said. Despite being true friends, rumors about their relationship remained a topic of discussion in the media for decades, even after Tupac's death in 1996. When we first met, I was a drug dealer, she shared during a 2017 interview on Sway's Sirius XM radio show, adding that their roles would one day reverse, and that as she was
coming out, something very bad happened to me. As I was coming out of the life, he was going more into the life. And I've been having kind of an existential crisis around Pac because I was coming out, he was going in. There was a point in which we met. And then we kind of were going our separate ways.
Shakur became a musician, actor, and rapper, while Pinkett Smith established herself as an actress and later the wife of Hollywood superstar Will Smith. For Will, Jada's friendship with Tupac was a challenging trial, as he revealed in his 2021 memoir, Will. He triggered the perception of myself as a coward, Smith wrote. I hated that I wasn't what he was in the world, and I suffered a raging jealousy. I wanted Jada to look at me like that. Will admitted that despite being in the same room as Tupac on several occasions, he never spoke to him because, as he explained, the way Jada loved Pac rendered me incapable of being friends with him. I was too immature. Jada and Tupac's friendship had its ups and downs, but they loved each other deeply as true friends. Later, Jada revealed that they once kissed.
Girl, we got a surprise for you. What? Play!
What's happening, baby?
But both found it uncomfortable, which only strengthened their friendship.
I mean, there was a time when I was like, just kiss me. Let's just see how this goes. And when I tell you, it had to be the most disgusting kiss for us both.
Unfortunately, they began drifting apart as Tupac's life became harsher and more dangerous, while Jada's relationship with Will grew more serious. Another contributing factor, according to Jada and others, was that Tupac changed significantly after being released on bail from prison. In a 2017 interview, Jada shared,
"We were on two sides of the spectrum, and Pac and I have always had very intense conversations, arguments, and if we disagree with each other, we disagree hardcore. And we had a very hardcore disagreement. And
what was the disagreement? What was the thing that broke you guys up in terms of a friendship?
I just wasn't in agreement with the direction that he was taking, and I just told him that it was a destructive direction. A scary direction. A very scary direction, and he felt as though, I had changed. I got Hollywood.
Still, Tupac never forgot about Jada, often writing poetry in her honor. One of his poems, Jada, includes the lines, "You are my heart in human form. You will never fully understand how deeply my heart feels for you." Although they were not on speaking terms before Tupac's death, and had not reconciled, Jada shared in a 2015 interview with Howard Stern that Tupac knew how much she loved him.
I know he knew that, because it wasn't the first time that we had a bad argument and had stopped speaking and all that. I mean, that was kind of a constant in our relationship. So I didn't really look at it as, a reason to feel guilty, but it definitely taught me a lesson, which is life is too short. Do not let disagreements stand in between you and people that you love and care about.
I can tell you're really emotional about him. I mean, you're crying.
Yeah.
Actress Rosie Perez.
Little girl, don't cry, because to me, your anniversary will always be on the 26th.
Rosie Perez shared a close bond with Tupac after meeting him in the early 1990s. Although they were never romantically involved, they maintained a friendly and intimate connection. Rosie often accompanied Tupac to significant industry events, including the Soul Train Music Awards, where he served as her official date.
That I was supposed to go to the Soul Train Music Awards with this other guy in the music industry. Don't ask, we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
And he stood me up. He stood me up 15 minutes before we were supposed to leave. And Tupac, we were friends, and he called me up and he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, and he said, "Yo, forget that."
Right.
And he said, "Let's go up there, I'll be your date." I said, "What?" He goes, "He's gonna be so jealous with me and you and everything." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Plus, I want you to hook me up with Madonna."
Despite the lack of a romantic relationship, their friendship is remembered warmly. Singer Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Left Eye met Tupac at an industry event in 1991 when both of their music careers were just beginning. They quickly became close friends and spent a lot of time together. Lisa admitted that she was immediately attracted to Tupac, but he chose to keep their relationship platonic. Tupac once told her, "Never let me sleep with you, no matter what happens." Lisa respected his wishes, and although they maintained this boundary, there were feelings between them that went beyond friendship. Their bond often led to jealousy on both sides, and they sometimes hindered each other's interactions with others. However, when Lisa began dating Tupac's friend Andre Ricin, he stepped aside. After learning that Andre was abusive toward Lisa, Tupac intervened, rescuing her from Ricin's home after a heated argument in which Lisa set the house on fire. Later, when Tupac was released from prison, Lisa had already left Andre, and the two rekindled their friendship. She was present in the studio when Tupac debuted the nearly finished Hit 'Em Up in 1996.
I got a chance to go to his house a few months before he passed on, and it was weird. It was a very weird experience because everything that was in my cabinets was in his cabinets, down to the seasonings in the kitchen. You know, the types of food that we ate, the pot set, the chairs that we sat in.
In that moment, Lisa felt that Tupac was her soulmate. According to Lisa's friend, the two even shared a bed that night, though their relationship remained platonic. Eventually, Lisa returned to Andre, and Tupac moved on with Kidada Jones. More about her later. This was the last time Lisa and Tupac saw each other alive.
When Tupac passed, I realized there were a lot of selfish people in this world. That's what I realized. Everyone didn't want him to leave here for their own selfish reasons. You know, I was able to let go and say if he really wanted to stay here, he would have pulled through. But it was his choice and his decision. And obviously there's life after death. So I guess he decided to move on, and I'm 100% with any decision that he would have made, you know.
On April 25th, 2002, Lisa Left Eye Lopez died in a car accident. Singer Madonna. Tupac met Madonna through his close friend Rosie Perez after attending the 1993 Soul Train Music Awards together as friends. Madonna expressed interest in Tupac, and the rapper reportedly told Rosie, "Hook that up." This sparked a brief relationship between Madonna and Tupac in 1993. However, their relationship wasn't publicly confirmed until 2015, when Madonna revealed it during an interview with Howard Stern. She inadvertently mentioned their connection while discussing a tense appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman.
I don't know. I was in a weird mood that day.
You flirted with
I was dating Tupac Shakur at the time, and the thing is, he got me all riled up about life in general. So when I went on this show, I was feeling very gangster.
I didn't know you dated Tupac Shakur.
That was a surprise, yeah.
That's shocking to me. That's never been out there, I don't think.
In 2017, TMZ published a letter Tupac had written to Madonna from prison. In the letter, Tupac confirmed their relationship and explained the reasons for their breakup. "For you to be seen with a black man wouldn't in any way jeopardize your career. If anything, it would make you seem that much more open and exciting," he wrote. "But for me, at least in my previous perception, I felt due to my image, I would be letting down half of the people who made me what I thought I was." Keisha Morris. Tupac met Keisha Morris in New York during the summer of 1994, when Keisha was a student at John Jay College of Criminal Justice and working as a camp counselor. At the time, Tupac was dealing with ongoing legal troubles and court appearances.
Tupac and I met at a club in New York, and we spoke very briefly for about 5 minutes. And then we later on met about a month later, and he remembered who I was and remembered the conversation that we had, and he offered to take me out.
Later, Tupac was convicted and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, of which he served 10 months. While incarcerated, the couple decided to marry. Morris recalled Tupac's reasoning for their decision. For him, it was more like, "I don't want you saying you're my girlfriend. I want people to take you seriously and let them know that you're my wife." On October 12, 1995, Tupac was released on bail after his label posted $1.4 million for his release. However, just 5 months after he was freed, their marriage was annulled. Morris reflected on the split. "Things were getting very different once he got bail, and I felt like I wasn't needed anymore."
So you got married in prison?
Yes.
What happened with that?
It didn't work. Not because of her or me or jail, it just wasn't the right thing to do at the time. I married her for the wrong reasons.
What were the reasons?
I cared about her, but I married her because I was in jail, I was alone, and I didn't want to be alone. And
despite their breakup, Keisha and Tupac remained close friends. In a 1997 interview, Keisha stated, "Tupac was the type of person that if he was through with you, that was it. But that wasn't the case with me." The day before Tupac was killed in Las Vegas, he traveled to New York and called Keisha, insisting she visit him at his hotel. Initially hesitant, Keisha questioned why he wanted to see her, reminding him that they were divorced. Tupac responded, "You will always be Mrs. Shakur." Keisha eventually agreed and went to his hotel. They spent the night talking and being together, a final moment of connection before his untimely death. Keisha continued, No intimacy, nothing like that. It was just like he just wanted to lay down, and he went to sleep. I got up in the morning. He was still sleeping when I left.
That's the first thing that he always said, Keisha, I'm not going to live, past a certain time, or, I know I'm going to get shot up. He knew that. That was, the one thing that he did know.
Jara Everett. Not much is known about the relationship between Jara Everett and Tupac, aside from the fact that it occurred in the mid-1990s. However, in her autobiography, Jump Off the Real Truth, Everett confirmed that they did date, and she described Tupac as her favorite boyfriend. She stated, "I would have to say my favorite was Tupac. He was so down to earth, and he was a different person behind closed doors." She also revealed, "What people don't know about Tupac is that he was a wonderful person, and all that stuff in the public was not the real Tupac." Singer Faith Evans. The connection between Faith Evans, then the wife of Biggie Smalls, and Tupac began when Faith visited Tupac in the studio to collaborate on a track.
And it's a funny thing, I kind of realized how powerful Tupac and I was. You know what I'm saying? Because we two individual people, we waged a coastal beef. You know what I'm saying? One man against one man made a whole West Coast hate a whole East Coast, and vice versa.
I went to the studio. I realized there were a bunch of death row people there. So in my mind, I started figuring it out right there, she said. I didn't really know what I was walking into. Had I known the things I know, I definitely wouldn't have done the song with him. I definitely wouldn't have gone in the studio to record anything that was related to death row at that time. She added this, referring to her shelved collaboration with Tupac on the song Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. After that, Tupac released his single Hit 'Em Up, which included a direct message to Biggie.
You claim to be a player, but I f***ed your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas for life.
Of course, Evans denied all of this. In her memoirs, she claimed that she went to Tupac's hotel to collect her payment after the studio session. But according to her, he demanded something else instead. "So you not trying to suck my dick?" she remembered him asking. "What?" I screamed. "What are you talking about?" She added. Tupac kept going. He was making no sense, cursing and yelling. He said something about Big and the East Coast. But, I thought y'all were friends, I said. At this point, I could barely speak clearly because I was crying so hard.
What do you want to say about your relationship or lack thereof with Tupac Shakur?
Well, I don't really want to say. There's nothing to say. There was never a relationship between Tupac and me.
None of it is true as far as me being involved with him. None of it is true.
So you're saying you were never
involved with Tupac?
Even though Evans denied that there was anything between them, some claimed otherwise. In one of his interviews, veteran West Coast rapper Spice One claimed the pair were buddies.
Faith, that was Pac's girl. That was not his girl, but that was him and her and Pac had something together. They was buddies. It's fucked up to say this, but we gonna keep it real.
Heather Hunter. Tupac invited Heather Hunter, an adult film star, to appear in his music video for How Do You Want It? Initially, she hesitated to accept the offer, but Tupac eventually inspired her to return to Los Angeles after the video shoot. It was amazing. He was a really close and dear person to me. Just like anybody I hold close and dear, I respect him, she elaborated in a later interview. When she returned, they developed a genuine spiritual friendship. It was everything, she recalled. I think 3 or 4 months later, he passed away. Kidada Jones. Tupac and Kidada Jones first met in 1995 at a club shortly before his legal trial. At the time, Jones didn't speak to the rapper because he had previously criticized her father, Quincy Jones, for marrying her white mother, Peggy Lipton.
Kidada Jones, right? I'm Tupac.
I know who the hell you are. I'm surprised you're calling me by my name.
What are you talking about?
Quincy Jones? You don't remember the magazine article?
During their second meeting, Shakur apologized, and she gave him her phone number.
I was at a club one night in New York, and he thought I was Rashida. Tupac did, and he came up to me, and he was apologizing about the article that he wrote about my parents. And, inside I'm just like, oh my God, he is so cute.
By their third encounter, Shakur was reportedly already head over heels for her. I love her, Shakur told his mom, Afeni, at the time. She's going to be my wife. She's having my children. When their relationship began, Shakur was still officially married to Keisha Morris. However, after his release from prison, his marriage to Keisha was annulled, and he and Kidada moved into his house in Calabasas, California. Tupac was the love of my life, Jones wrote in her father's 2001 autobiography. Unfortunately, their relationship was tragically cut short. He and I lived together for 4 months, and then he was murdered in Las Vegas in 1996. It was the most horrible thing that ever happened to me. Kidada shared that her last conversation with Tupac took place while he was lying on the hospital bed.
When I heard that he got shot, I called my mom to tell her. She got on a plane from New York immediately. I called my dad. I told him what was going on. He didn't think he was gonna die. He was just like, can't come, my love is with you, can't come.
In the hospital, she said to Tupac, "Do you know I love you? Do you know we all love you?" Tupac nodded in response before slipping into a coma and passing away.
Lord, I love so many kids and shed so many tears.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell. You can also write a comment in the comment section down below. See you later on the Top Art Legends.